Cart Assembling 101. This is the Baileigh cart.
It takes a little bit of time to put together.
It is a little time consuming.
So that's what this is all about.
Correct. You start with taking it out of the box, obviously.
I'll help you get things out of the box.
Yeah.
The main thing is putting the hardware over there, right?
Correct. A lot of nuts and bolts that go together to put this thing together, but in the end result is this thing it's solid. So this bag, you need to get your locking for your axles out. And these locking plugs, we will need these hinges for the doors, but everything else can kind of just get set off to the side. So this gives you an idea of how much goes into putting this thing together. It is built like a tank. So what I do is I kind of organize right in the very beginning. You got all your carriage bolts with no heads, and then you got different nuts in here that you just separate in the piles. So you got a pile of that, you got a pile of your nuts. These are all carriage bolts, and these mainly for your door and your hinges. This is for some little parts at the end. These go around your axles, and then you got some other odds and ends that you just need to put a handle on, so you need longer nuts and bolts. Mainly what we're going to use to put this together is the carriage bolts.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. That's the back panel. And these are the two side panels.
So the two side panels have the Baileigh logo on them.
Correct.
So these are the screws for the bolts and the nuts that you have a million of.
Exactly. And you do have a million. You start assembling it right here.
Okay. Now I'm going to help out here a little bit. Okay? So it helps to have a buddy.
It really does with this cart. This is really the point where it's really nice to have a wingman on this.
You can see at the holes, this shelf is on an incline. And the little holes, the squares, are aligned in a way that completely matches up.
And this goes on the sloping downside. This stops on the sloping downside of the cart. Whether you wanted a single cart or a double cart, you just flip this thing.
Gotcha.
So if you're having one cylinder on it, you can go like this, but we're gonna use the two.
Okay. So you put that piece on there before you screw it down.
Yeah.
So the instructions kind of look like you might have multiple pieces that look like this, but really you just have one.
Correct.
And you can just move it depending on how big your tanks are.
Right.
So one important thing to note here with these shelves that are sloping, the side that's down, make sure that that side
has the holes in it.
Has the holes. This side has no holes. This side has the holes that need to go down there. Same thing on the top. No holes. Slope down. Holes. So that's the base.
This is the base. Obviously, get your axles.
Those are some heavy duty wheels.
Very heavy duty. Nice ball bearings in there too. Here's your front casters. So we'll do it like this, and then we'll flip it, put this on top of it. This is where these come into play. These are for your axle to keep it in place. One's to snug it in place. The other one's to keep the wheel on.
You just have to ram them in there?
Yep. You grab those, you lock them in.
You like it?
Mm-hmm. Wheels on. The other two. This one is a little bit more challenging to put on because now you got the wheel in the way. All right.
How do they spin?
Like a dream. So when you're putting these front wheels on, important thing to do is just put the bolts in on the inside. Leave the outside holes open because those are going to connect to the bottom of the cart. You're going to run the bolts through the whole pattern. Now this is all made in America too, so it's all standard. It's nothing metric.
So now it's upside down.
Yep.
So there's a few holes you got to attach on this side.
Yeah, you basically just work your way right around the cart. I think that's what just makes this thing, when you're done with it, so sturdy. And we'll tighten these guys up. Now you just add the handles, accessories, door.
Tighten everything else up.
Yep, now I go through and tighten everything else up. But now your main bread and butter is complete. And this is where you can start to see how sturdy this thing is. I'm just gonna lock it. It helps with it moving around. Now, what is left is all your accessories. You got your shelf, your TIG holders. This is actually, some of this stuff is for the door. Your cords and your MIG gun holder. And then that's actually where you use this big bolt. Put that through. And that's where you can put your MIG gun. When you put these on, depending, like I said, depending on what side you put them on. So one has a hole here, but this one, it's hand tight and it goes in right here. You keep it symmetrical. This side can go here, but the other side, this is a lot of times why I hand tighten stuff, because you figure this out as you go. This one goes right here. Miller welder door opens on this side. Lincoln opens on this side. So depending on which welder you have on there, depends on which side you want these brackets to go. Because on one side it'll interfere with opening the door.
Sure.
If it's a Miller, but if it's a Lincoln, it won't.
So what we'll have to do is take this bolt out, put that back on.
Correct.
So this one, you're having the bolt stick out here.
Yep.
Because if you had a bolt stick out here, you're going to rub up against your machine.
Yeah, because essentially you can put a TIG machine here and a MIG machine here. So this is on the same side. This is going to stop your TIG things from falling down. Same thing whenever I'm in this thing, I'm switching the carriage bolts. So you don't have them sticking inside. This side it doesn't matter because it's underneath. Over here, you got the 3 holes drilled for your hinges on both sides. So if you wanted to switch this cart around, if you wanted to move these things anywhere, you got plenty of different options with this cart, which is kind of cool. So these little brackets here, they hold your MIG gun holder and your accessories. But if you look, I'm going to have that bolt sticking in and then this bolt sticking through. So it gets a little pinch point right there. So you got to make sure you get the nuts on there before you lock it in. That's where these bolts come into play, because then you can get a nut back there and hold it with a wrench. That's just loosely on there, because then what I'll do is I'll tighten it up.
You got your L bracket, carriage bolt through, and then this bolt through.
Same thing with the thing underneath. Just loosely put it on there. You get it started at least like this first. Then you can come in here with a wrench and hold that. These are the two that, these are not carriage bolts. So you can get a wrench in there and tighten it up. Those are the first 2 times I've used anything in this cart other than a carriage bolt.
This bolt?
Yep, and this bolt.
And this bolt.
So the handle is another one where you're using different bolts. You're putting it on with the carriage bolts, but you're connecting it with these so you can tighten it up. I'm looking at it.
You're putting a bolt pretty much in any hole that you see.
Yep, that's part of the stability of this thing. All these nuts are 1/2 inch. My hand just kind of comes in right here on this shelf because I got to reach way back in there. If you can just push these carriage bolts, just got to hold them and then I'll tighten them up. We'll start on this side. And then we got to put your door brackets on. These are those little baby ones. These are all for your hinges. They're all countersink to sit right down in your hinges. And then they got 4 little baby ones. And those are to put these brackets on. This is what the door stops against, and this is what you put your magnets on. So obviously you want that to be up and down. So that's where it's going to go. You need your door stops on the opposite side. There's that. So this is your lock. You put it on here and it sticks out beyond, so you can actually, once it's closed, you can lock this door. It locks right to the frame. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these hinges on over here just because this is where all the screws are.
Little baby countersink screws with nuts.
Yep. We're ready to move this operation back over here. These are 2 magnets. They're just stuck together. First time I was like, oh, I'm missing a magnet. And those are countersunk too. So same thing. I kind of did this just for storing it. I just skipped the first 4 links, and that chain doesn't dangle as far. There's your cart.
Nice.
These smaller bolts, I always tighten by hand. Just because this is where you can start snapping stuff with the impact gun. See, we got it all.
I think so too. Shall we?
It's sweet. It really is. Took about an hour to assemble, from start to finish. That's with my assistant, Keith. So there's a couple times where, you know, the initial getting these first shelves on, there's a couple times where it's pretty valuable to have a second person.